September the 18th, 2025. Guys, we mentioned this in the late video last night when we were watching some of the coverage from D.C., that Trump had declared Antifa a terrorist organization. Now, this is one step from declaring the Democrats the same terrorist organization, and really, they are responsible for Antifa. And I think this is going to have a trickle-up effect. But it says how many Democrats and their spawn will face prison time now that Antifa is finally declared a terrorist organization. Now, once that happens, guys, I don't know if you can walk around with an Antifa flag or not. I don't know the exact details of it, but we're going to find out as much as we can. And think about it, guys. In Minneapolis, back in 2020, you had all the burning and all the Antifa rioting and all. But there was 1,500 businesses or buildings that were damaged or destroyed, guys, just in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 1,500. And it says 2020 Antifa and BLM set a record in the U.S. for causing over $2 billion in property damage. For years, Antifa has been terrorizing communities across the U.S. with their brute violence and threats against innocent Americans. On Wednesday night, during his historical second state visit to the UK, President Donald Trump officially declared Antifa this major terrorist organization. If you think about it, again, it's the little army for the Democrats. And how much are they involved? How much money has the Democrats have been involved into the Antifa movement, guys? Because you talk about trickling up. This is going to be, again, the next best thing to taking down the Democrats. Because what's going to happen is you're going to see more and more of these guys and girls getting arrested, and they're going to start to squeal like the little punks that they are, okay? And that's going to start bringing down the money people. And when that happens, you're going to start seeing more and more Democrats getting taken down. Again, Jimmy Kimmel, he's gone. And as a matter of fact, they're going to replace his show possibly tonight or tomorrow night, I can't remember, but with a Charlie Kirk special. Can you imagine that? And that has really got the Democrats stirred up. Chuck Schumer is saying by silencing Jimmy Kimmel, we have lost the voice of democracy. Can you believe that? Of course you can. Look at who we're talking about. It says, after today, violent Antifa leftists will no longer be able to roam free and terrorize American communities thanks to President Trump. This could become quite an embarrassment for the Democratic Party. How many Democrats will wait to calls from police departments notifying them that their spawn, which is a very good term, the spawn of the Dems. Anyway, it says how many Democrats will wait to calls from police departments notifying them that the spawn has been arrested for he, she, they, them's association with terrorist groups. It already happened to a couple of the biggest names in the Democratic Party. Now, you're looking at the House Minority Whip, Katherine Clark. It says in January 2023, the trans daughter of Democrat House Minority Whip Katherine Clark, Democrat in Massachusetts in the 5th District, was arrested on charges of vandalizing private property and assaulting an officer while resisting arrest during an Antifa riot in Boston. Now, so like they're saying, how many will be woke up? They're with trying to get their spawn out of jail, but it's going to be a different charge. Now, what will be the first reaction from the Democrats besides squalling, crying, and whining? It will be to rename and rebrand their spawn. You understand what I'm saying? But we've got them on the run. They need to be because, again, 1,500 businesses in Minneapolis alone, they burned down places in D.C. And the people like you see here, Katherine Clark, they were behind it all. Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, all of that group. And Obama probably started it, the initiation of the thing to begin with. And if you think about it, the trans daughter of Katherine is a guy. Jared is his name. Jared Dowell, 23 of Melrose at that time. He went by Riley, his female name at the time. And how does these parents, how are they justifying that fact being tied in with a lot of shooters? Dowell was placed under arrest and charged with assault by means of a dangerous weapon, destruction or injury of personal property, and damage of property by graffiti and tagging. Dowell is expected to be arraigned in Boston Municipal Court, they said in the statement. Now, again, this is going back. And so we will see more and more of this, but they cannot show their faces as is anymore. So, again, it is getting to the point where the Democrats are being backed into a corner, and that will, not that they're dangerous themselves, because they're pretty weak soy boys, but the fact that they have their little spawn armies, you could see some backlash here and there, which will be very quickly quelled with the new sheriff in town. And this is an article this morning also, guys, and like I said, Schumer says Jimmy Kimmel must stay on air to save democracy. Then he urges him to sue Disney. These freaks, man, I never thought I'd see grown people act like this. But again, what they're doing is the fact that we're possibly going to see the end of advertising for Big Pharma, which paid all of the big three and many more a lot of money during the COVID situation. Almost every commercial was Pfizer. Well, with that being gone, U.S. aid being gone, money to PBS and public broadcasting and all of that gone, then, and a lot of that came back as grift to the Democrats, by the way, to go into their campaigns and whatever else they wasted money on. But now they are desperate. The only voice they had was the lying Democrats on mainstream media. The View, people like that. And they're one by one, they're gone. You've been seeing it. And what's happening is the networks, if in my opinion, are looking for a reason to fire these high dollar fools. I've seen it in many other corporations and companies. When employment gets more than they can handle, in other words, their business is slowed down, they start looking for reasons to get rid of you because they can't afford you. So we're going to see more and more of this, not because Disney finally decided to become conservative, but they're running out of money. Hollywood is going broke. Their mouthpieces are going broke. And so it's the pushback against these creeps and demons that was needed. And I just wanted to come in this morning early, let you know about that. But I'd like to hear your comments about it, because if some of you may know more about it than I do, what will happen to Antifa now? Can they show their face? What will happen? How will they shift like skinwalkers into some other disguise? Who knows? But let me know what you think, guys, in the comments below. I think we're winning. I love it. Not because I hate anybody, but you can hate someone's ways and not hate them. But we're very close to them being the same thing when you look at demons like this. But anyway, they chose their path of destruction, and now their creations are coming back to eat them. It's a heads up, guys. Be safe.